It appears that my long-range Model 3 is actually faster than the performance, and before you tell me that's impossible, hear me out. My 2019 long-range Model 3 is actually faster from 0 to 60 than a brand new 2021 Model 3 Performance, at least under certain circumstances. So stay tuned and let me prove it to you. Electric vehicle expert Bjorn Nyland from Norway made a video that I thought was totally fascinating. He took a 2021 Performance Model 3 and tested it 0 to 60 times at various states of charge on the battery. So I tried to replicate his test with my own 2019 long-range Model 3 to see how my results compared. He started at 90% battery and then did a test every 10% state of charge, with the lowest being at 10%. Now the 2021 Model 3 uses a heat pump to efficiently heat the cabin in cold weather, just like the Model Y. But the older Model 3s use less efficient resistive heating. With the heat pump, you actually steal heat from the battery to heat up the cabin, which is much more efficient. But this leaves the battery colder. And the problem here is that batteries like to be warm, and in colder weather, the car still wants the battery within a specific range of temperatures for maximum output. And this is typically around room temperature for lithium-ion batteries. So if the heat pump is stealing heat from the battery for the cabin, this lowers the battery temperature and will ultimately limit output to the motors and slow down the car, especially as the state of charge drops. Both of these things will lower the car's possible output, low state of charge and a cold battery. So this test is really combining both of these things for a worst case scenario. Bjorn originally tested a 2021 Model 3 Performance and then a 2019 Model 3 Performance and most recently a 2021 long-range Model 3. But he has not tested a 2019 long-range. The 2021 models all have the heat pump and the 2019 model years do not. Now the reason I'm doing this test is because I have a 2019 long-range with the acceleration boost. This lowers the 0 to 60 time by half a second compared to the standard long-range, down to less than 4 seconds. And I was really curious to see what kind of results I would get with this vehicle configuration since Bjorn hasn't tested it, and whether or not it would be faster than the new performance model under these conditions. Now I don't have a fancy GPS 0 to 60 timer like Bjorn, so for this video I will literally be counting the frames in the footage to determine the times as best I can. There's going to be about a 0.08 second margin of error based on this, but we should still be able to see trends and draw some useful conclusions. I'm also going to be using 64 miles per hour in my car as the target because Bjorn did 0 to 100 kilometers per hour, which is really 62 miles per hour. And GPS tells me that 64 miles per hour on my speedometer is actually 62 miles per hour. So there's a little bit of bias in there, like most vehicles, but I think this is the fairest way to do it. Okay, here are my test runs, starting at 80% state of charge. I didn't do 90% because there doesn't appear to be any difference at those higher battery levels, and this test took a long time to do anyway, but here we go. Run number 2. Test number 3 from 60%. Test number 4 from 50%. Test number 5 at 40%. Test number 6 at 30%. Test number 7 at 20%. And test 8 from 10%. Alright, let's take a look at his results quickly before analyzing mine against them. and I strongly recommend that you check out his video for even more details. Okay, so the 2019 performance that Bjorn tested did very well, as you can see. Without the heat pump, it appears that the car's battery stays nice and warm and allows for solid acceleration that really only tapers off significantly below 20% battery. The 2021 long range actually fared decently as well, even though it has a heat pump. Acceleration still tapered off at lower states of charge, but the worst run was still just over 6 seconds at 10% battery. Alright, so as you can see, the 2021 Model 3 performance starts losing its acceleration very quickly as the state of charge drops, and around 60% it starts becoming increasingly noticeable. And below 20%, it's almost comical. 9 seconds at 20% and almost 15 seconds at 10% battery. Now there are some variables that I just couldn't account for in my own testing compared to what Bjorn did, so directly comparing is tough. However, the main point here is how much power and acceleration you lose as your battery depletes in cold weather, and that is something we can actually directly compare. Now for my results with the 2019 long range with acceleration boost, you can see the results are similar to the 2019 performance, and really these two are quite close at each state of charge, with the performance narrowly winning. I actually had the least amount of loss at 10% battery compared to all other vehicles, where I still managed to get to 60 in just over 5 seconds. Overall, it's just pretty funny to me that my 2-year-old long range is actually faster than the brand new performance in these conditions, starting around 50 or 60% battery. And I think I'd be a little upset if I had just purchased a brand new performance in a cold climate without knowing this. If we don't count the new performance model, the other 3 follow almost exactly the same trend of acceleration loss as the battery depletes, but the 2021 performance is clearly an outlier. Now this is something that Tesla could theoretically fix through an over-the-air update. They really just need to limit how much heat the heat pump steals from the battery below 60% state of charge when it's cooler outside. Like if the battery is below X temperature, then don't steal heat from it. I tried to match as many variables as possible to what I could see in Bjorn's videos. The temperature outside was similar, though it was slightly warmer for me, at about 26 degrees Fahrenheit compared to 20 degrees Fahrenheit for him. I had the interior temperature set to 70 just like him as well, and there was a bit of a headwind for the first couple of runs that I did, but it did die down before I got to do the more important runs with a lower percent battery, so I'm not very worried about any impacts from that. And it is shockingly difficult to arrive at a set location to do a test like this at a very specific charge level, so I was just trying to be within 1% of the target. A couple times I actually had exactly the charge I was looking for, and then the regen from slowing down to a stop bumped me up 1%. So that was annoying, but shows you how close I typically was. And based on how well the trends line up in the data, I think it was close enough. I'm curious to hear what you all have to say down below in the comments about this. Do any of you own a 2021 Performance Model 3 in a cold climate, and have you noticed a lack of power under these circumstances? I've heard that a number of owners in Norway have encountered this already. And this actually took over 4 hours to run this test, so if you enjoyed it and want to see more videos like this or just support the channel, make sure to like the video and subscribe. Thank you so much to everyone that has already. I honestly can't believe that I'm approaching 2,000 subscribers already. But that's all for today. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.